Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Stylist Meets Vinyl. My name is Chris. Today is a special day on the channel. I am celebrating 1,000 subscribers to the YouTube channel. And in order to celebrate that, I thought I would throw a contest, 1,000 subs contest. It's the first contest I've ever done on this channel. And I wanted a way to celebrate this and to give something back to the vinyl community and thank everybody for subscribing and liking and commenting and just watching the channel these past few years. So I am calling my contest the Around the World contest. It's going to have the usual rules. You gotta subscribe to this channel. You've got to make a video. In that video, I want you to shout out another channel in the vinyl community. Tell us why you like this channel and a little bit about what the channel does. And then once you've made your video, you're going to comment on this video here and let me know that you've made your entry. So the contest is going to run until Saturday, December 21st. So it's a good 6.5 weeks or so, 7 weeks almost. And I'm going to put up about $100 Canadian Amazon gift card. So that's roughly about $75 US. And I'll send it to you. You can buy whatever you like, hopefully some records. And then, maybe you can show those on your channel as well. So I said it's the Around the World contest. How is that going to work? So what I want you to do is I want you to show one record from all 7 continents on this earth, all 7 continents around the world. And you're probably thinking, how the heck am I going to show an album from Australia? Or I don't have an album from Antarctica or whatever it is. So don't take it too literally. I mean, if you can be literal about it, then please do, show a record from South America, show a record from Asia, whatever you can. But if it's too difficult for you, then just fill in the blanks and be creative with it. Think outside the box. Think about that continent. What type of imagery comes to mind when you think of that continent? And then use that as your jumping point. So if you're thinking of Antarctica and it's snowy, then show a record that has snow on the cover, or show a record that has penguins on the cover or something, or anything you can do to link that record to that continent. It's going to be very loose. Let's have fun with it. Let's play around with it. Let's not take ourselves too seriously, okay? So I'm going to jump into this and I will do my submission for the Around the World contest. I'll start off by giving my channel shout outs. I would like to shout out a few channels actually. First channel I want to talk about is Jack over at the Vinyl Martini. Jack is a West Coast Canadian guy. He's a soft-spoken, mild-mannered type of guy. Shows a lot of cool records. He's big into thrifting, and he loves those bargain records. And I really enjoy checking out Jack's videos, and I think you guys would too. So please go over and check out his channel. I'll leave a link to him in the description here. I also want to mention Mike at TCAT's Deep Vinyl Tracks. Mike has been in the VC for a while now, and he left and then he came back, and now that he's back, I'm happy to have him back. And Mike is a similar channel to Jack's, where he does a lot of thrifting. He loves to find used vinyl and used CDs. He's got a wide variety of music tastes, and shows a lot of cool stuff on his channel. So go check out Mike at TCAT's Deep Vinyl Tracks. And then I also want to mention a new channel that I just discovered, which is Bobby Gaylor. Bobby, I discovered him because he did a response to a video that I did, and which my video was actually a response to a thread, but he mentioned me in his video and I got to check out his channel. He knows a lot about music. He's got a great looking collection behind him, and he showed a lot of cool records, and I was really impressed with the way that he was able to spout off musical knowledge and trivia and fun facts, and it's the kind of stuff that I really enjoy when I watch a video. So go check out Bobby Gaylor as well. I'll link to his channel in the description as usual. So those are my channel shout outs. Now I'm going to jump into the Around the World contest. Oh, and I forgot to mention actually one of the strict rules when you're showing one you're showing one record from every continent. In addition to that, I want you to show an 8th record that is from Canada. And it can be a Canadian band, a Canadian artist. It can be a Canadian pressing if you don't have any of that, or a member, a Canadian band member was on played on that record, or a session musician was from Canada, or the cover art was shot in Canada, something like that. Link it back to Canada. So you're going to show 7 for each continent, 1 for each continent, and then a Canadian record as well, because that's where I am here in Canada, and I want to rep some Canadian stuff too. So I will start off and we'll jump into this. Okay, so the first continent we're traveling to is Europe. And I'm going to show you this album. This is from Germany. This is Frumpy, their second album called Frumpy 2. This is from 1971. This is what you'd call German krautrock. There's a cool hype sticker on here that says, a reissue of 1971 German prog rarity featuring Hammond organ, lengthy tracks, and bluesy edge. So this one is definitely worth checking out. It's got a female vocalist, Inga Rampf, some great like wah-wah guitar, and as it mentions on here, some hard Hammond organ. And if that sounds like something you might like, then I would suggest checking that album out. Okay, so from Europe, now we're going to go a little bit over to Asia, and I'm going to show you an album from Japan. And this is Iron Maiden, Made in Japan. This is a 12-inch EP from 1981 with their old singer, Paul Di'Anno, who actually just passed away back in October, just a few weeks ago. And Paul was an early singer for Iron Maiden, not their first, but an early singer. And what's interesting, so this album cover here, this is their mascot Eddie with the samurai sword here. And the original cover for this album had Eddie with his sword, and he was holding up the severed head of Paul Di'Anno. And when their record producer saw the album artwork, he said, no, you can't use that cover because we're actually looking to replace Paul Di'Anno, and showing his severed head on the album is a bit too suggestive and it's not going to fly. So they went with this one instead. But this one is definitely worth checking out as well. That's our Japanese, our record from Asia. Now we're going to travel down to Australia, and I'm going to show you this grunge record from 1995. This is Silverchair Frog Stomp. This is the debut album from Silverchair. They're a 3-piece from Australia, of course, and this was an album that I listened to a lot when I was growing up. My older sister got the album in 95. She got the CD and she played it to death, and her room was next to mine, and I remember listening to it, and that's how I first started to get into it. And there's some really great singles on this one. Tomorrow, Israel's Son, Pure Massacre. And so this is a grunge album, and they're a 3-piece. They were 15 years old when they recorded this album, and so it's a good grunge record, but when you think about them being only 15, it's even better. Like it really jumps off the page in that respect. So this was a trip down memory lane when I got this one. Brought me back to my youth, and I listened to this a lot during high school, elementary school, high school. So there's a good one from Australia. Now from Australia, we're going to go to Africa, and I am going to show you this album from Zambian rock band Witch. This is Lazy Bones. This is from 1975, I believe, and you would call this Zamrock, which was a popular, just like rock movement in Zambia during the 70s. And these were one of the proponents of that movement. And so this cool hype sticker here says, archival reissue of the prog psych Zamrock masterpiece from 1975. Quote from Mojo magazine. Electrified by a diet of James Brown, The Stones, and Deep Purple, which were the stadium-filling kings of 70s Zamrock, their third LP is a garagey masterpiece. So this one is definitely worth checking out. It is the only Zamrock album I have. It's the only Witch album I have, but I think I'll be checking out more Zamrock because this one is interesting, and I really quite enjoyed it. So from Australia, now we're going to go down to Antarctica. And you're probably all scratching your head of like, where can I go? How can I show any Antarctican, uh, albums? As far as I know, there are no Antarctican bands, and that's probably true. But I'm going to show you this album. This is Master of Puppets, Metallica. And, you know, Metallica, they're not from Antarctica, but they did play a live concert in Antarctica. They became, in 2013, their concert, which they dubbed Freeze 'Em All, they became the first band in the world ever to play live on all 7 continents of the world. And they played to a small crowd. They weren't allowed to use any amplifiers because they didn't want any sound pollution. So the guests there had headphones on. They played, they were able to listen right through the headphones. And I think there were some, like, mostly were like bass researchers, scientists, but also there were some contest winners that happened to be there as well. And actually, so for anybody who has, so they turned this concert into a live album called Freeze 'Em All. And I'm going to put an extra contest entry for anybody who can show Freeze 'Em All for their Antarctica connection. I'll give you 2 entries for the price of 1. So there's an additional challenge for this contest. Next, we're going to go to South America, and I'm going to show you this album here. This is Electric Light Orchestra, El Dorado. And El Dorado, of course, these guys, they're not from South America. This was not recorded in South America or anything like that. But the name El Dorado is a reference to El Dorado, which is a mythical lost city in Colombia, in the Amazon rainforest. When the Spanish settlers came over in the 1600s, they started to spread tales of this ancient city, this gold city, where there was a king there who would douse himself in gold. He would cover himself in gold dust from head to toe, and to cleanse off, he would jump into the river and clean off. And I think El Dorado means the golden one, which they referred to him as the golden one. But then the term El Dorado became known for the entire city, which has never been found. They're not really sure if it actually existed, but there's some cool South American connections for you. Next, we're going to go to North America, and for North America, you can show Central America, Mexico, you can show United States, you can show Canada too, but I'm going to show the United States. This is the album Morgan. This is from 1969. This is the debut album from the band Morgan. And this is a really cool psych album. It's got that The Scream from Norwegian painter Edvard Munch. And so this one has a cool hype sticker, and it says, this is from the Acid Archives. The quote says, "Every psych fan on the planet wants this LP in their collection." And this is a really cool one. I definitely recommend it if you like psych. This is a reissue. It's not too hard to find. The originals are pretty expensive, but definitely worth checking out if you like psych. And for my Canadian album that I'm going to show, everyone will have to show at least one Canadian album. I'm going to show this one. This is Neil Merriweather and the Space Rangers. The album is called Kryptonite. This is an album from 1975 or 76. And Neil Merriweather is actually from Manitoba, Canada, Winnipeg, Manitoba, which is the province next to mine. And he's a bass player. This is, as you might be able to tell from the cover of this album, this is like what you'd call space rock, space prog. It's a little bit psych as well. And there's some hard-hitting tracks on here, some crazy guitar solos, and just some very nice songwriting. I really recommend that one if you can find it. And that is it. That is my entry for the Around the World contest. Again, I want to thank everybody who has contributed to this channel in any way, whether it's a like or a comment or a view. Be sure to comment on this video if you make your entry, and if you do make an entry, good luck. Thank you guys so much for watching, and whatever you do, make sure you come right back here where Stylus meets Vinyl. Thanks everybody. See you soon. Bye.